It's time for another monthly update video. We're already 1 week into August 2016. So for all of my viewers, subscribers, followers, whatever the description happens to be, the people who are interested in the kind of work that I'm doing through my company, Reason.io, this is what we've got coming up in August and what went on in July. So I like to begin every time by talking about three big things. This month, two of the big things are things happening this month. One is something happening next month, but which you can sign up for this month. You'll see links to all of them in the video description below. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, check them out and bookmark them and get involved. Big thing number one, we are partnering with OutSchool to offer some seminars for homeschooling parents and children. Those who would be interested in beefing up their education by bringing in some classical philosophy, what we're doing is bringing in some discussion of Plato. I'm going to offer some seminars providing an introduction to Platonic philosophy. More about that in the August portion of this. The second big thing, we are partnering with another institution, the Partially Examined Life. This one's for adults, right? And what we're going to do is offer a seminar on Hegel's master-slave dialectic, a 2-hour seminar towards the end of the month. As part of the Not School reading groups that they do, we're offering it through Reason.io as something new for us, these one-off seminars that we're going to do monthly, but it's also connecting up with their community of people who are passionate about philosophy. The third big thing is something I'm really happy about. Starting in September, actually on September 11th, we've got another online class. One's a 4-week class coming up. This one is on Nietzsche's Birth of Tragedy. So if you've ever wanted to study this interesting early work of Nietzsche, where he's introducing the idea of the opposition between the Apollonian and the Dionysian, you're going to want to get in on this. And I'll tell you more about that in the August portion, just a little bit about that, but you can also click on the link below and it'll tell you more about it as well. So what went on in the month of July? I actually did quite a bit, but I also backed off quite a bit as well, in part because I had my children visiting for the summer, and we did a lot of activities oriented around that as a family. We also went to our annual 3-day family reunion. For those who don't know, I come from a pretty massive family. Our reunions, a small one is about 90 people, a big one is about 150 people, and we get together every year for 3 days out in Illinois. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of good downtime, and some relaxation. I also ended up doing a few talks. We try to cut back on those a little bit in the summer months, but I did talk at the Brookfield Public Library. You can see the video links to these below, on Roger Zelazny and his Chronicles of Amber series. So it was entitled Roger Zelazny's Amber and Chaos, and we were looking at philosophical themes. This is part of that Worlds of Speculative Fiction series that I do. I also gave a talk towards the end of the month at the Wauwatosa Public Library. They invited me back to talk more about existentialism, this time going into specific themes. And so the two themes that I picked this time were anxiety and human freedom. We had some great discussion, some great question. Again, the video is linked to below. We also had our monthly half-hour Hagel public Q&A session, and that was pretty much it as far as events went. I got a bit of writing done, a little bit of work on the academic writing that I'm trying to do. I did a little bit of writing in half-hour Hegel and in Erexis de Noetique, but I also brought out a piece in Stoicism Today. I'm the editor, as you know, of Stoicism Today, and one of the benefits of that is that I get to write pieces occasionally that I want to sneak in there. I've been doing a series on Stoicism and anger and the resources that Stoicism provides for dealing with anger. So I've been working on Epictetus in particular. I did a piece back in April, and then a piece, or May perhaps, and then a piece recently in July on Epictetus and dealing with your own anger. It's not a complete discussion of that. There's more coming up that I'll talk about in the August portion. I also did quite a bit of coaching. I do executive coaching, and I did some philosophical counseling and some tutorial sessions as well with interested students. There's not quite so much of that during the summer months, but I still get quite a few clients. I did some video work as well, 5 half-hour Hegel videos in the series. I've also continued releasing the videos produced for the Aristotle class, which was back earlier this spring. I've been bringing out those core concept videos. Videos of the talks, you can see those linked below. And I've also started producing something that you'd have to do a little digging to find, but I'll leave that to you, any of you who want to do that as a challenge. I've been producing videos that are sort of like the half-hour Hegel videos. They're very close readings. You see the text up on the screen, and then I give a discussion of that, a commentary. And I've been doing it for Epictetus's Enchiridion, going through it chapter by chapter, line by line, talking about, examples, what he, how it connects with his other Stoic, passages in other places. Lots of really close reading of that. And I've been doing that for, here's another thing that went on during the month of July, the Epictetus Enchiridion and Discourses class that I'm currently teaching. It's an online class, 6 weeks long. We've got quite a few students enrolled and some great discussions going on. We're now in week 3 of that class. And so I've been developing some more resources, and some of those resources are these commentary videos. Those students, of course, get a first look at them as part of the reward for, being members of the class, right? But eventually they're going to be there for the general public. I'm thinking about releasing them during Stoic Week 2016, but if you know where to look for them, then you can easily find them. So that is what went on during the month of July. What's coming up in August? Well, August is a considerably busier month than July was, or even June was. We've got a number of events, some of them local and some of them online. So I want to bring each of those to your attention. And I do have to apologize. One of these events you can't go to because it already happened. So today's the 7th. It happened on the 2nd. And that was a talk at the Frank Weinberg Library, which is here locally. We do a quarterly series with them called Philosophers in the Midst of History, where I'm taking a great philosophical figure like Aristotle or Anselm, or in this case René Descartes, and connecting them up with their historical context. So this was on René Descartes, the wars of religion and the beginnings of modernity. We had some really great discussions. You can see the video of it if you're interested in that, linked to below. This is also one of those sort of things that if you're, not here and you want to bring me in to give a talk about that sort of thing, well, that's a live possibility. As I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. On the 11th, at 7 p.m., what we've got coming up is another one of these lecture/discussions at the Brookfield Public Library in the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series. This time it's on a person who I've been reading since middle school. I started out reading her Wizard of Earthsea trilogy and then The Beginning Place and other stuff. Ursula K. Leguin. Great, what was called new wave science fiction / fantasy writer, somebody whose works I really, really enjoy. So I'm hoping for some great discussion there. On the 17th, 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time. It's important that you get the time right because this is an online event. We have our monthly half-hour Hegel public Q&A session, which we do through a Google Hangout. And I put the link to that in my Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus, and also on my Patreon page, right before, because I open it up, right? That's the way Google Hangouts work. Now, if you're interested in this, you do not need to be a Patreon backer in order to do that. You just find the link and pop in at the right time, which 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time on August 17th, and you're perfectly welcome to come in. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to discuss, Hegel related, I am up for. I give priority to those who have questions first and try to answer their questions. So, feel free to do that. We also have 2 things coming up with the Out School, 2 different seminars, although they're actually the same seminars, two sections of the same seminar. One is on Wednesday, August 10th. The other is on Wednesday, August 24th. Each of these is for middle schoolers, high schoolers, ages 12 through 19. If you have a kid who's particularly bright and you want them to get some introduction to some philosophical ideas, this is on Plato, and I'll be talking about Plato's importance, how to read Platonic texts, how to make the differentiation between what's going on with Plato and what Socrates might be saying, how to think critically as we're reading these, how to examine the arguments, and I'll answer a lot of questions, of course, for students and for parents. So this is primarily for homeschoolers, but that's not to say that students who are enrolled at other places can't do it. They are at 11 a.m. in the morning Central Standard Time. So most schools aren't actually starting yet, so people who are enrolled in public school or parochial school or private school can get in on it. But these are primarily through Out School, which is a homeschooling resource. So if you're interested in that, the link is below. On the 30th, we have our first Reason.io intensive seminar connected with some readings ahead of time, in this case Hegel's master-slave dialectic and his phenomenology of spirit. I'm providing my own videos in the half-hour Hegel series as a useful resource for people, and I will be leading discussion, but I'll be doing a lot of Socratic questioning and a lot of directing people to the text, and we're going to hopefully have some great discussion going. There's 20 seats available, although quite a few of them have already been taken up. We're going to have a link below that you can follow if you're interested in participating in it. That is going to be August 30th. 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. So if you're interested in some intensive study of probably the most important passage in Hegel's phenomenology, at least from the perspective of continental philosophy, you probably want to get in on that. We're going to do more of these each month, not just on Hegel. We're going to have some Descartes coming up, some Kant coming up, some Plato, so all sorts of people. So that's all the stuff event-wise that we've got going on. We're also gearing up for the fall. We have a lot of planning to do. We're doing a lot of outreach to local and to, in some cases, national organizations, putting some speaking and workshop engagements on the calendar for fall, for winter. We're also looking ahead to 2017 and doing some planning for that. So if you're interested in booking me to come in and give a talk or workshop, you can always reach me at greg@reason.io. Send me whatever it is that you're interested in proposing, and we'll talk about it. I'm always happy to engage with people who see some value to philosophy, whether in a public sense or a professional sense or a practical sense, or even in a lifelong learning manner. So we've got a lot of that going on behind the scenes. I'm also trying to get some writing done. Some of it is academic writing, things that I've had on the back burner for a while. Some of it is more popularly oriented writing, like the stuff on Stoicism and anger, not all of which is showing up in the blogs because I'm working on a book on Stoicism and anger, as well as on Aristotle and anger. And I'm going to be doing some blogging in Half Hour Hegel and Ursula K. And if I get around to it, Heavy Metal Philosopher, I'd love to get that blog up and running again. I'm also going to be bringing out another piece in Stoicism Today this month about Epictetus and anger, bringing that to a close, offering more advice about how to deal with one's own anger. And if I have the time, so I'm not making a definite promise about this, but if I have the time, I'm going to also do some one or more blog pieces for the Partially Examined Life. They invited me to blog, it's over a year ago, and I haven't taken advantage of that. I really want to start doing that, not only to reach a wider audience of their, members and participants, but also because, it's nice to when somebody asks you to follow through on that sort of thing. So got some video work coming up as well. Half Hour Hegel, hopefully get all 6 videos out for this month. More Aristotle videos coming up, a lot of great stuff there. If you're into Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics or virtue ethics in general. I'm still working on the Epictetus Enchiridion videos, but I'm going to keep those unlisted for a while. Those are for my students in the class, but I will be releasing them in October for Stoic Week. And I'm also going to be producing some videos for the Nietzsche Birth of Tragedy class that will be coming up in September. Now that one is going to start enrolling well before September. We're going to open up enrollment probably about about a week from now, I think. And so you should look for a video specifically about that class coming out. There's also a few other things I need to do for my video channels, to create some new content that people see when they come to it. A new introduction video. I'd like to do a video specifically about my tutorial services because people ask a lot about that. I want to do a video specifically about philosophical counseling because people have been asking for that. And I'd also like to start doing more of these Dr. Sadler Respond videos. But that's a lot of stuff on the docket. We'll see how much of it I can actually get accomplished during the month of August. Good to have a lot of goals. It's even better to accomplish them, though, isn't it? So I wish all of you a great month ahead in this month of August. What's left of it, we're already a week in. And hopefully I'll run into you or see you online at one place or another.